does HR play a role in developing sustainable business? Well, we're here today with David Ulrich and a number of Logica's clients to discuss and debate the need to balance people, planet and profit to create real sustainable business.
There's a major shift in the world of business, and that shift in the world of business is captured in some very simple things. There are social changes, technological changes, environmental changes, political changes, economic changes, and demographic changes, all in a global world. Those changes add up to a new world in which we live. When the world is changing, the companies who win will have the capacity to respond better than the companies who lose. There's an old joke. If you and I are being chased by a bear, one of us looks at the other and says, "I can't outrun the bear." And I say, "I'm not. I'm outrunning you." HR builds the capacity for organizations to change faster than their competitors.
I think the current climate has created an economic situation which has required organisations to bring things into far sharper focus. And for HR, that means helping the organisation be far more agile. That means adapting to the change the organisation needs to face, helping the organisation change its models, its business models, its global footprints, and adapt and adjust to cope with the pressures that are brought to bear.
The changes in the economy and the changes in the way business operate means that HR also has to change. And those changes mean that HR has to be flexible and adaptable. HR and business functioned historically in periods of long economic stability. With the economic changes, the businesses are going to have to change quicker and more rapidly. HR is going to have to recruit people more frequently. They're going to have to adapt and provide businesses data to make sure that businesses are on track as they change their business strategies.
Everybody in HR has got to come to terms with the new reality that we face today, both in public sector and in private sector. And I think the challenge for HR now is to really, finally look very, very hard at delivering value and productivity. I mean, productivity is going to be so important going forward.
I think the current economic environment that we're in is changing the role of HR very significantly, and that the pace of change that we have to adapt with our workforce is faster and faster. And besides not only just looking for key skills going forward, it's more about how we retain the skills that we have in our business.
What's fascinating about HR is we often say to an HR group, "What's the biggest challenge you face in your job today?" And the HR group will say, managing talent, managing change, managing the relationships, managing people. But what they've missed is a fundamental point. We do that so that we can create value for the customers of the company.
Well, I think to create value for the customers in the organisation, it starts with HR not getting in the way, frankly, and I see a lot of HR functions actually becoming a barrier to effective business performance. So I think it starts with minimalist approach, not getting in the way. And then I think the real key issue now is finding the talent in the organisation. And talent is a minority sport. It's not a democracy. So we've got to find the talent, develop that talent, and actually really deliver some results from it.
An HR department has to be focused on its customer's customer. It has to, first of all, understand its internal customer, understand the important drivers that make the internal customer successful, but it also needs to be mindful of how that then translates into good business performance.
For most organisations, innovation isn't a core strength because the culture of an organisation tends to be pretty traditional. HR's role is to ensure we have the right people at the right time with the right mindset, and that quite often is recruiting a very different, out-of-the-box thinkers than what most organisations traditionally have.
Innovation is important for a sustainable business, and HR plays a critical role in that. HR has to be responsible for making sure that the business climate and the employee environment can attract young, skilled, innovation-oriented talent.
In a world where innovation is critical, you want to hire people who are creative, intuitive, dynamic. HR will do hiring, training, compensation, so that the individual ability is critical to be innovative. And at the same time, it builds a culture of innovation.
As you've heard, the role of HR is changing. Logica is leading the debate. We invite you to join us.